So I want to take you into a butterfly sanctuary that Elaine and I had a chance to enjoy back in June during our anniversary. This is a moth we're looking at. These are moths, and moths are a bit different than butterflies, as we'll see as we get inside. Um, and while this is not designed to be a fully educational video, it's more just our experience with these beautiful creatures. So first I'm going to talk about or show you at least a few of the butterflies as visualized by my wife Elaine. As you can see here, these creatures are wonderful, and I think they reflect some wonderful things just about life in general, because they go through stages of life that are not so beautiful as they appear here in these pictures. And these were just some of the butterflies that Elaine captured. And I did not either see these butterflies. In this particular facility, there were over 45 different species of butterfly and a few moths. But one of the things to note about butterflies is their antennas. Their antennas are different than those of a moth. Some of them have wonderful disguises and the like. Butterflies are generally more interested in plants. Here, these guys are scientifically, I don't know what they're doing. I think one just doesn't want to be bothered with the other. This other guy is just a bother to this particular butterfly. He's like, look, let's go for a ride. No, I'm not going with you. What do you mean you're not going with me? Come on, man, let's go take a look. There's lots of other plants that are just like this one. And, well, this guy's just not having it. Not interested at all. And even with tapping the plant itself and saying, hey, come on, let's go. And showing you the undersurface of my body and wings. Butterflies and moths have different behaviors there in terms of how they cover or uncover their different parts of their body. So butterflies tend to be a little bit more, they fold their wings up, whereas moths tend to fold their wings down. But eventually left. These butterflies are beautiful in the sense that they can sometimes just hide and blend right into their background. Like this butterfly here is nearly white to clear, as you can see, but on the green background stands out pretty nicely. Of course, it's got spots on its wings, which also helps quite a bit as well. And then sometimes even perched high above on a leaf. Love this butterfly here. We had a hard time catching it because it moved around so much during the day. Again, another behavior that moths don't generally engage in is they're more nocturnal creatures. Here's a butterfly in the center of the screen. It's actually almost clear, but it's a brilliant white. Even against the background, it seems not to stand out quite as much. And at the top of the screen here, the white butterfly, and again, the top of the screen, the shadows actually show up a little bit more visibly than the butterfly itself. But pretty cool butterfly. This one we saw quite a number of moving about. Butterflies also have kind of they have a different antenna than moths. Moths tend to have a saw-like antenna, and butterflies are club-like. What may be hard to visualize in the center of the screen, the brownish color is actually that beautiful blue butterfly. So on the undersurface, the wings are actually brownish with a unique pattern, as you can see here. And then the outer surface is a brilliant blue color with the black edging. Butterflies don't live very long from the time that they're forming their chrysalis, and their journey begins from that stage on to other stages before becoming these beautiful creatures that are very effective and helpful in pollinating plants. So this is another group of butterflies. I just enjoyed their interaction as they decide that they're going to share a plant together. And on one occasion, a fella decides that maybe you're getting a little bit more nectar from that particular branch than I'm getting, and I'll come down and join you. And so, but then other times you'll see usually one butterfly, one flower, occasionally multiple butterflies on the same flower. And this garden happened to be full of plants that these creatures happen to like and enjoy. Another difference is butterfly wings tend to fold vertically up over their backs, whereas moths tend to hold their wings in a tent-like manner, protecting their bellies. We talked a little bit about behavior. These guys are wonderfully active during the day, and you can see them sort of moving about in the daytime, but they can also fly around at night, but they're primarily creatures of the day. There are actually many more species of moths than butterflies. Butterflies, you wouldn't know that, I guess, by our gatherings here. And primarily, if you're going to have a daytime adventure, you're going to pursue multiple species of butterflies. The largest butterfly in the world has a wingspan of about a foot, and that's got to be fairly dramatic. Not native to North America, however. One of the things I used to think about in growing up is, and this is again, not to be myth busters, but we used to think about, man, don't touch the butterfly's wings, because that powdery stuff that comes off and gets on your fingers or as you touch the butterfly will make the butterfly unable to fly. And well, essentially, that's not exactly accurate. That powdery material is scales from the butterfly's wings. Beautiful butterfly here along on this green plant. Almost looks more like a spearmint or a plant in the mint family as its wings are folded down. You can see the color and the pattern there. The touching of the wings does not preclude the butterfly from flying. Here you see that curved structure in front of the butterfly. That's also different from a moth, and is what's referred to as a frenulum. There is a close-up of the curved structure of the mouth, and this butterfly looks like it's been in a little bit of a battle, but still has a nice pattern to its wings, as does this beautiful creature. So where we were stationed, there were somewhere around, I think it was 47 different species of butterflies. I can't tell you that we were able to capture all of them. In fact, I venture to say that we may have pictured about 25 or so of the various butterflies. Some of them were not out in or in locations where we could see them easily. I made a little bit of an effort to try and capture some of the butterflies that were a little bit more difficult to see or capture, but that was one of the beauties of Elaine and I both out and about, is the butterflies that she was able to capture. I would venture to say that I probably wouldn't have appreciated them as much if she didn't take the pictures. So really grateful for that, because she was patient enough in certain locations in the garden to take pictures. But just looking at the butterfly move its wings, It's a majestic creature. And I think in nature, oftentimes, we're reminded of being able to traverse difficult circumstances, and there's a certain freedom that butterflies exhibit. But even in their freedom, they make for an improvement in their environment because of their ability to pollinate. They tell us a great story in going from a chrysalis to what looks like a clump of nothing to emerging to complement and add beauty to the surrounding environment during the day. So, butterflies. And the space, and while it was hot where we were on the exterior, the temperature was somewhat controlled, but clearly warm, as these creatures like the warmer weather and warmer climate, and thus make their migrations from one location to another as a consequence. Now, I don't know if these two guys are talking to one another, saying, hey, look, what do you think? Well, I'll come down from my leaf to your leaf. I just love how this butterfly is enjoying this lantana. Blends in almost a little bit, and that's another interesting feature of these delicate creatures, is sometimes the environment that they're in there can be beautifully disguised so as not to become the prey to other creatures. The end.